Hey, I'm Chase and this is All Things Random. Today, we're diving into another luxury watch. Today, I got my hands on a Rolex Deepsea Sea-Dweller. Now, before we hop into the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I got a lot of cool videos coming up in the future to include watch reviews as well as build videos and product reviews. This is a 2009 Deepsea Sea-Dweller that I got from a coworker, a buddy of mine, that he received from a late family member. Now, it was in a banker's box and he asked me to see if it was actually legit, if it was a real Rolex Deepsea Sea-Dweller. Now, I ran the serial number, it came from 2009, and I looked at every aspect of the watch up to taking it to an AD to verify its authenticity. Now, this watch itself retails right now on the used market for around $9,000 to $10,000. Let's flip the camera around and take a closer look at the Rolex Deepsea Sea-Dweller. Now, in 2008, Rolex introduced an updated Sea-Dweller model named the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date Sea-Dweller Deepsea. Now, the reference number for this watch is 116660. With an official depth rating of 3,900 meters, the Deepsea Sea-Dweller represented in its launch year the most water resistance mechanical watch in serial production. Now, to obtain this official depth rating, the Sea-Dweller Deepsea was tested to a depth of 4,875 meters to offer the 25% safety reserve required by the ISO 6425 divers watches standard. Now, to test the water resistance, the Sea-Dweller Deepsea, Rolex had to use special equipment developed for them by Comex. Now, the Rolex Sea-Dweller Deepsea watch case has a diameter of 44 millimeters, making it actually a sweet spot for a lot of larger guys, and a thickness of 17.7 millimeters. So it does have quite a height. But some of that has to do with the domed crystal. The sapphire domed crystal has itself a thickness of 5.5 millimeters. Now, the case and the bracelet together weighs a total of 212 grams. The reason for the larger watch is because the inside of the watch is filled with normal surface air, and watch cases and crystals designed for extreme depths must be large to cope with the water pressure. Now, it's sort of like a submarine on the wrist. Instead of you being inside, it's the movement itself. Now, other features that came with the Deepsea in 2008 was the Ringlock System for sealing the sapphire crystal to the case, a caseback made of titanium steel alloy, and the Glidelock-clasp and the diver's extension. Now, it does have the maxi-dial, engraved rehaut, and ceramic bezel filled with platinum. Now, it does house a calibre 3135 with an antimagnetic Parachrome-Blue-hairspring and the blue chromalite lume. Now, the blue chromalite lume is one of the things I love the most about the newer Rolexes, and it lasts for ages. It glows throughout the entire night. Now, the Deepsea Sea-Dweller is not for everybody, and it is a larger watch sitting higher on the wrist, but it offers a good alternative to a Submariner if you are a larger person. Not so much if your wrist, I would say, is less than 7.5 inches. Now, housed inside again is the caliber 3135, and like Rolex, the movement is buttery smooth and shows you how Rolex is as expensive as it is. Now, with the hand winding, it's almost effortless, and the date flips over at almost the exact minute the hands reach midnight. Now, the Sea-Dweller is quite a bit taller, like I mentioned, but the depth rating for it is 3,600 meters greater than the Submariner. So 3,900 meters compared to the Submariner at 300 meters. So you really are getting a very solid watch. Now let's discuss my hands-on experience with the Sea-Dweller. Now this thing is just like any Rolex. It is built to perfection. The indices are perfect, the lume is perfect on it, and the one thing that I love the most is the clasp. In fact, I had never handled a Sea-Dweller up to this point, so I was used to personally the bracelet and Glidelock-clasp from my Rolex Submariner, which is similar but different. I'll show you in just a second. Now the bracelet bracelet on this, you can see is similar to any Oyster bracelet. However, it tapers down greatly from the actual lug size down to the standard Glidelock-clasp. Now, let me show you how this clasp works, and this is where Rolex is seamless in its design and manufacturing. Now, it opens just like any other one, but the center pops open on the clasp that allows you to slide it back and forth. Now, I have no idea how often this watch was worn, but I can tell you that in 2009 up to right now, 2020, that slides back and forth with ease and effortlessness. Now, it's very well machined, just like any Rolex, and extremely comfortable on the wrist. Next, to show the quality, is the bezel itself, a unidirectional 120 click ceramic bezel. Now, these line up absolutely perfectly with every indice as it should, every minute marker as it should, and it has a beautiful click that left me playing with it all day long when I wore it. Now, here it is on my 7.5-inch wrist. It is a larger size wrist, especially for my size. However, it wouldn't distract me or keep me from wearing it. I would wear it all the time if I owned it, but it would be hard for myself to justify spending $9,000 or $10,000 on a watch that's oversized for my wrist when I could buy a Submariner for the same price. And in the future, I do have my Submariner Hulk that I'm going to be doing a review on, as well as my buddy's brand new no date Submariner that I'll talk about the wait list he was put on, and he got it actually relatively quickly. So again, stay tuned for those. But again, even at its larger size, it is very comfortable to wear, and you definitely know it's there with that weight. Now, my buddy who lent me this watch is a lot bigger than me. This watch would not necessarily work for my frame and stature. I'm a slightly smaller guy of average height. But if you were a slightly larger guy, it's going to fit your wrist like a standard Rolex Submariner, and it's not going to look disproportionate. So for me, I still prefer my Rolex Submariner over the Deep Sea. However, this thing's pretty awesome because it has not only a lot of history behind it, but it is a solid tool watch. You really wouldn't expect to break this thing because of how rugged it actually is. Now, if you like videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a comment of the content you guys would like to see next. Hit that notification bell. I have so many videos coming up in the future. My next video I'm going to release is what I'm going to give away in my 500 subscriber giveaway. And I also have a review on a Matthew Tissot vintage quartz watch that I'm going to be filling with silicone oil to see what happens. Until next time.